Okay. So it's Fun Run Fridays again. And the AC 4400s from Berwick have showed up again. So Paul Specials here. He's playing with the coal. Got to move the coal. Railroad goes broke without the coal. This is the lower level to the railroad here. This is at 28 inches off the floor. Floor is right there. Okay, so we're into the, again, 9.5 turn helix. It's 36 on the outside, 33 on the inside. P.S. If you're building a helix, don't follow this example. There are far better ways to do it today.
Here in the trailer, inside, they just go down and hang out the railroad station. Well, it could be somebody who works there, actually. They don't have to drive out to
So here we're making up the Apex Silverville turn today. It goes from Apex, and this is on the Apex Silverville Railroad. This is a separate railroad on the railroad train. And the railroads come up with some new engines. So we leased a couple of GP7s. You never can tell what's going to come out of people's boxes. The lead unit, the Black Widow one, was purchased in 2013 and has never been run. It was new in the box when we opened it up. One of our dear illustrious members brought it over today. So we have some 7s running the turn today. It's the advantage of leasing engines. You can lease anything you want. And the SD9 sitting behind it. Okay, there we go. It's Friday and we have to have F units Friday. So our coal train has arrived at where it needs to do its job. And we'll leave the actual maneuvering and moves to the operator. So we're going to have to get into some new signs here since the Dick Snyder Coal Company has taken over, purchased this. We change it from the New River Mine to give it a new name. So we have a local turn and we're using the F units today to run it. Yeah. The Apex turn, a local turn.
profile one and some of the other stuff.
Yeah. I don't know. You can work this from the main, and we'll just run around you on the siding. So he's got work here at Apex. He's got to swap out all those cars for other cars and then go back. Remember to run around. You go back the way you came.
I don't know why they hunt like that.
I can tell you why. It's voltage draw.
Accessory. 2. Select accessory. 2, 6, 8.
Really need stereo on this to get you the real picture on the sound, because each engine's sound is almost acting independently. One of them will rev up, the other one will slow down or not give you the engine sound. So these are wow sounds.
Wall sound.
Yeah, this is wow sound TS C, right? TCS. TCS decoders. And these are all Katos?
Katos.
Yeah. Katos, and you use what speaker?
I'm using, each one has a pair of the ESU 50321 aka Sugar Cube speakers.
Sugar Cube speakers.
And they sound fabulous.
Yeah.
The horn is very clear. The bell is nothing at all tinny sounding like a lot of them.
Yep.
Let's see, what is this speaker? What is this?
Now, those comments are coming from a true musician. He plays the saxophone, okay? Just so you know. Not your typical model railroader with a dead ear, okay? All right, so he's playing with the gold cars. He's got to get these Rio Grandes back in the right yard here. Okay, so the two engines are sitting here while he's off doing something. This is Apex Industrial here. And the train ran from Apex. He pulls his cars out of the yard. And as you can see now, the Apex yard is getting very empty, because he's pulled all the cars, and he's going to come over and work Apex Industrial. Then he goes to the other side of the wall to Silverville, work Silverville, and he's using the switcher to gather up the cars he's got to get first. Rule 1, even in the big roads, you pick up first, set out second. Really important in model railroading, because you got to get those cars out of your way. These are SD7 Athearn Genesis with Soundtrex decoders in them. So the Apex local here has gathered up all his pickups, and now he's going to set out cars. He picked up some more motor power, you notice.
Had to borrow.
And because we got full loads coming back, I think we added, look, a pusher on the back end.
Switch the other end back. Or take the inside over here.
Well, that's good. You're all in the right order. You're going into the junction yard, though. Okay, well, he's going to have to back into the... put his coal train away. So you probably have to hold up.
This should be lumber car here must have taken a spill.
Oh,
Got a chunk missing out the sill.
car show today in Eagle Pass. Antique car show. So the apex turn here is going to be broken up and put back into the yard. And the yard here in this case is the first 4 tracks, or the Junction Industrial Yard. So the back is staging tracks, and on something a little unusual for this railroad, we end up right now with 3 stage trains back on this side. Okay, this is we're back here with Fun Run Fridays and Tales from the Bayou. We're going to talk a little bit about JMRI operations. This is kind of a practical look at this. I'm not going to get into any of the technical aspects of this at all. But this is the manifest right here for it was a stage train, and it was in one of the 2 ends of the railroad called Golden, and it's train 43. It used a stage train that was existing, came out of staging, and it's going to Apex, and it's going to turn around and go back to Golden, and that's its work. It's not going to, one thing right off the bat that JMRI did is it told the operator it wasn't going to use any of these cars right here at the top, so they could leave those there. He didn't need to bring them with him. The rest of the cars were going to be used in Apex, and where to block them in the train. Then when he gets to Apex, which is where he is right now, he had to pick up these cars, and he has to set out those cars that are in the train. Then he returns, and all the cars go back together with the ones that were left there back on track 1 and staging. So it's a job along the railroad. This train, a little bit of our fantasy engines here. Made these up a long time ago. Dash 9s at Rio Grande. Rio Grande never saw any of these. But anyway, that's the engines on the front of the train. And he's back here in Apex with this train working another train. So this is the second train he's worked today. Today it was fried shrimp for lunch, so just in case you didn't come. Anyway, so he's got a switcher out here, and he's running around and doing it. Now, in this case, at Apex, we have a depot track, and sitting on a depot track, part of the operations in this layout is there's another place we leave these cars. These are actually the cars for the Santa Fe interchange, which is in one of the tunnels down there. But because we were doing something earlier that involved doing a runaround on that track, we leave these cars sit here. But he could sit on the main, low traffic today, and if somebody's got to get by him, they can use the siding. So he's over there working, getting yard and going to the industries, whatever he's got to do. But this is JMRI operations. This railroad covers a plant. And, you know, that's Golden Industrial Yard, and the tracks in the back. Well, unfortunately, they're in the stage train there right now, but we'll cover that. That's one end of the railroad. That's the other end of the railroad. That's Junction. And unusual, all 3 of the trains in the back are stage trains. We have 3 stage trains on one end of the layout. Usually it's 2 and 2. But the dispatcher needs to fix that. Okay, and again, the yard tracks in the front of the yard. So you run from there over here, Golden, you run to here, Junction, and all the work in between. This is the thing I think anybody has to picture right here. This is Golden. This is Junction. The points in between. That's the railroad. You run from one end to the other end. Now, theoretically, once you stop at Golden, you, as an operator, you get off the train and your job's done, but the train could go on that way forever. At Golden, it could go to St. Louis. It could go to New York, wherever the rest of the railroad is. At Junction, it can go on to Salt Lake City, San Francisco, you name it. That's going west. This is going east. All right? So the train could continue on. We're only operating this division. I think you have to think when you get into, and this applies to car cards or JMRI operations, or if you're still running rail ops, okay? What is the scheme of your railroad? Your railroad could be this right here, the Rollins branch. You could have a yard right here and strictly model that branch line, and that would be your railroad. We have 2 branch lines on this railroad. Here's the other one, is the Apex branch. And there's a yard right here. So you just have to think what you want to do. It can be big or it can be small or it can be any size you want to make it. But where do the trains go? And what is the piece that you're modeling and what is your concept of operation? If you can get that all figured out, we can make it happen. Our Apex Silverville train is over here working Rocky Logging. Yeah, this gets to be interesting. About a 1.5 degree slope here. You got to do all kind of things as a train operator to keep your cars from rolling. We always got challenges around here. Okay? And everything over here is manual. We don't have any automated switches or anything. No electrical. This is off. This is dark territory. You know, good old-fashioned engineer, the conductor. He's got all these cars he's picked up. We've done a whole bunch of work over there at the rock factory today. And he's coming back over here to Apex, and he's got to put all the cars back up. He's just about finished. Okay.
I can use a break.
Uh-oh, my engineer wants 10-100. There we go. And again, tracks in the back of the main line, and it's hundreds of miles away. Hundreds of miles. So we're finished spotting our cars here now. He's using the switch engine to work the industries.